Hello. Yesterday was an iSchool field trip, and I want to tell you about two tiny little teachers. Excellent, wise ladies, wise philosophy teachers. So I spent the morning with them. And I just want to tell you about our day a little bit. We started off with some porridge. By the way, my tiny little teachers are respectively 2.5 and 4.5. And I went over and spent some time with them. And it's so funny because I just spent, a little bit of a lesson on telekey, which is, just being in the moment and appreciating the moment for the sake of the moment. And then you build up these entelekeys over time, and you want a huge keychain. Well, yesterday was a great entelekey to add, and because it was just so pure, it was just so pure. So we start off, like I said, with porridge. Watching them eat porridge, and then we did some show and tell. They got to show me their rooms and things like that, just to explore. Then we played some games that I brought in my magic little bag. And then we played Find the Girl, which I thought was great. It was Find the Girl. It wasn't hide and seek. And we went outside and blew bubbles. And the 2.5-year-old, it was just so precious. She would just ask me to blow bubbles. It was just so simple. You blow bubbles, I'm going to pop them. And over and over and over again. And then she would take the bubbles and she would walk over to some flowers and blow the bubbles in the flowers. And I thought, it's so unstructured, and that's what I loved. It was just so innocent. I'm like, I'm just going to follow you, little teacher. You want to blow bubbles and flowers? Let's blow bubbles and some flowers. And so we did that, and it's so much fun because I wasn't busy. It's just like I could just be there in the moment with them. I wasn't preoccupied with anything else. It was just bliss. And it was bliss because just watching and observing. We had snack time and made a little piece of toast. And the 4-year-old is, you have to get the jelly on all edges. I just love listening to that way of thinking. And it's just so different than adults, And the 2.5-year-old sitting there with her little breakfast, with her little toast. And she's singing and dancing while she's eating. And I'm just like, yes, girl, yes. I want to just capture that and put it in a little bottle, or actually just observe it and then do it my own style, the Newsom way, I guess. It was just incredible. And then we moved on to story time and some art. I brought over a little crochet, but I could tell that was just a little too much, so backed off of that, move on to something else. And in teaching child development, child psychology, just on a high school level, it just gave me some insight, just listening to their different perspectives and just their views of the world is just so authentic, which is kind of what a lot of us want to try to achieve now. Well, just go observe some kids and their authenticity without trying to fix them. You keep them safe, of course, always, but let them just explore. Sometimes I feel like adults come in and say, "Oh no, you have to do it this way or this way," and I did that too as a parent. I think it's instinctive, but now at my age, I just have the luxury of just just observing, and I feel like I'm getting such a great education. Anyway, and then it was nice. They're so sweet. And then our day was done. Oh, one thing I came home with, the 2-year-old kept saying, instead of yes, it was yeah, yeah. I love that. Yeah, yeah. So I'm taking that one. And then we had an appointment at our house. Mr. Newsom and I did. And I know this part is kind of boring, but I'm just trying to get at maybe a lifestyle. We had some issues with our house, and so I had an appointment to get back to. And what was really nice is that neither one of us had to get a sub for the day. I was just here. Any home repairs, anybody who has to come over, it's so nice to just have someone here. And like I said, have the house all nice and happy. So I had a wonderful education this morning or yesterday morning, and then in the afternoon I got to get some stuff done, and which helps both of us. So I'm liking this. Well, speaking of tiny little teachers from my little field trip yesterday, I wanted to um, I wanted to just mention a couple things. First of all, it was an afterthought that I really appreciated getting a hug from kids. I haven't had a hug in a long time from two little kids. It was precious. And secondly, it really made me want to focus more on the dynamics of education, at least having better conversations and making school a little bit more wholesome like them. I was thinking about how, countries across the nation have, just varying degrees of education right now, whether you're hybrid or remote or fully going back to school, um, is troubling to me because I see it based on politics and economics and not, again, in the best interest of kids. And I just see schools are still segregated. Just because there are laws that changed, it doesn't mean that that's changed the dynamics of education right now. So we still have segregated schools, which, makes me think that, we have some of us going back right now just because of the economic quality of their school, where we might have a neighboring school that isn't, just because they're poor. And it just, to me, that's just not justice. And then a thought pops into my head that I see students standing up for the Pledge of Allegiance in high school, whether they're conscious of it or not. And I just think about the words liberty and freedom, and they're standing up saying, for liberty and freedom. Well, liberty is freedom from oppression, and freedom is hopefully a fair right to choose. And I just don't see that happening. So it goes against my moral compass, and so I'm really struggling with that. How can I support one school over another? Just because I would go back to school, I would be supporting the very system that I just want to change. Anyway, where was I? I see some people just eager to say, I just can't wait to go back to normalcy. Not me. I don't want to go back to that rushed lifestyle. I think it's coerced. I think it was forced. And it's just over the top. I just think there's too much required. And I brought this up before, but I'm just, I see the hypocrisy within that too. And it's really hard to have a value system in a place that goes against a core value system like fortitude. To stand up for something that's right is really hard. And costly, but anyway, I just wanted a couple afterthoughts on that.